It is the EOY 2 Express Math Paper Part 2, Angelo Chinese School.
Part 2, right?
Yeah,
Paper 2.
yeah.
Okay. In fact, I also have that from last time as well. But anyway, it's okay. So let me just launch that. Okay. Let me launch that. Let me launch one of this. All right. So yes. Okay. This is the one. Oh, okay, good. So let's go to paper 2. By the way, this is an empty paper because this is not the one that you sent me. Actually, I can use yours. But anyway, which question for paper 2? So we are looking at paper 2 already.
You can ask my mom to send you. She has the worksheet PDF.
Actually, I think you sent me last time as well, right? Let me check my WhatsApp.
I think we went through this one.
Yeah, you sent me last week as well. Let me quickly.
Oh.
Let me quickly launch.
Did we go through part 1?
Yeah, sure. I will launch the your completed okay, it's launching. This is the one by you. Yeah, here. Can you see?
Then did we do CHIJ's secondary 2 Express 2016?
Also, you want to do CHIJ?
I don't know which one I said and which I didn't. Did we go through that one yet?
Yeah, this is no CHIJ. No, this is
Then
CHIJ.
yeah, that one.
Yeah. So basically, which question? Let's start with one question.
Number 2.
Question 2. Okay, question 2. This is called factorization. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, question 2 is factorization. So what is your question for this question?
I don't think I knew how to factorize this.
So do you have any idea what's the meaning of a factorize? This word factorize? Do you have any idea?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. So let's start with some basic idea. What this factorize means? Then we will discuss how we can solve this question. Okay. So let's take a look at this PowerPoint, right? Okay. So the word factorize. Factorize. Okay. The word factorize comes from the word factor. Okay. So if I ask you 12, can you find the factors of 12? So that means it's factors of 12. So how do you solve this? So what are the factors of 12? What are the factors of 12? Any idea?
Oh no.
Okay, good. So factors of 12 is, so 1 times 12, you get 12, right? And then 2 times 6, you also get 12. Then 3 times 4, you also get 12, right? And of course, then when you go forward, you can take 4 times 3 equals to 12. But can you see from here onwards, okay, it's going to repeat itself because you already have it here, the 4 and the 3. So therefore, you don't have to do repeat. So you stop at here. So the factors of 12 are 1, can you see 1? Okay, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then of course 6, And of course, last one, 12. So this is the meaning of factors of 12. So are you clear for this part?
Okay.
So basically, you need to find how do you get 12? So you need to list down all the possibilities. So here are all the possibilities how you can get 12. Okay. So after that, all this 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. So all these numbers are factors of 12. Okay. So
Okay.
if I give you one more example, a simpler example. So let's say I ask you for the factors of 6. Okay.
Uh,
So how do you get 6?
1 times 6,
Times
2
6.
times
6. Yeah. 2 times 3. 6. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Yeah. 3 times 2, right? But can you see it start to repeat already? So you stop at 2 times 3, right? So once you stop, then all these 1, 2, 3, 6, okay, they are factors of 6. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So with this understanding, right? So what this question? So before I go to the question on the paper, right? So now we can actually do do an example of factorize. All right, let's factorize 2 plus 4x. Okay, so how do you factorize 2 plus 4x? So the question you ask yourself is, what is the common factor between these two? So you have one term, and then you have another term, and then what is the common factor, okay, among these two? So you need to look for the common factors. Okay, so any idea?
2.
Yes, good. So the one you can think of from this example is actually 2. Okay, so you basically use we call it, you take out the 2, right? Or you take out the factor 2. Then after that, what you end up with is 1. Okay, then after that, the plus sign is plus sign. And then since you take out the 2 for the second term, you are left with 2x. So far so good. So you have completed this question already.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's move forward. I'm going to give you a harder questions. Okay, so the last factorize. Okay, so I want you to see the trend here. So over here, this question, factors of 6, just one number, just one term. Over here, factorize 2 plus 4x. Can you see here is the first term, and then here's the second term. Okay, so 2 terms. And now I'm going to ask you to factorize 3 terms. X to the power 2 minus 3x, then plus 3x also can, plus 2. So can you see that over here you have 1, 2, and 3. So there are 3 terms. So how do you factorize 3 terms? So you have to use the box method or the table method, whatever. So I don't know what you call it, but I'm going to demonstrate to you what this means, what box method or what or table. Because different teachers call it differently, but I'm going to demonstrate to you how you can use this method to factorize these 3 terms. Okay. So number 1. So do you agree this is a quadratic equation? Do you still remember what is the meaning of quadratic equation?
No.
Okay, good. So quadratic equation, the highest power is 2. Okay. So that's called quadratic equations. Okay. Or rather, this is not a quadratic equation. This is called a quadratic expression. Yeah. Quadratic means the power is 2. The highest power is 2. So it's called a quadratic expression here. Okay, so once this is a quadratic expression, then you can use the method I'm going to demonstrate to you. So over here, you have 3 terms, right? So basically, you have 3 terms. So you underline the 3 terms. And after that, you ask yourself, how do you get x squared? So how do you come up with x squared? So the only way is x times x, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Then after that, how do you get plus 2? Okay, there are a few combinations. You can take 2 times 1, okay, or you can take 1 times 2, right? Or you can even take minus 2 times minus 1, or you can even take minus 1 times minus 2. So far so good. So these are the 4 combinations. These are the 4 combinations you can get plus 2. So now we need to ask ourselves, which one of these 4 can actually give us plus 3x? Okay, so let's test. Let's test with this. Minus 2 and minus 1. Okay, see if we can get plus 3x in the middle. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick minus 2 and then minus 1. So I ask myself, can these 2 give me plus 3x? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just put it here and test. Okay, so once you form this, right, so this will give you first arrow, second arrow. So the first arrow will give you x squared. So far so good.
Yeah.
The first arrow will give you x squared. So far so good. Here.
Okay.
The second arrow, which is here, this is the second arrow. X times minus 1, you will get minus x. Am I right?
Yeah.
Good. Then now I'm going to do for the minus 2 here. So this arrow will give me minus 2x. And then this arrow will give me minus 2 minus 1, I will get plus 2. So if you combine this, you will get x squared minus 3x and plus 2. And then you will see that if you pick minus 2 and minus 1 here, which is also here, you will end up with minus 3x. But the question wants you to have plus 3x, right? Can you see here? So that means you basically minus 2 minus 1 cannot. So that means this one cannot give you what the question wants. So you eliminate this. So you eliminate this combination. Okay. So you have eliminated this combination. Then you start to pick another combination, so that you are going to have plus 3x. Okay. So I think you have. Okay. Let me erase this as well. So by doing this exercise, right, you will start to realize that this combination 2 and 1, which is this combination, 2 times 1, okay, this should give you the answer. Okay, so let's test on the left. So I just rewrite x plus 2 and then rewrite x plus 1 on the left. So basically I just bring them over here. Okay, so x times x, first arrow, will give you x squared. Am I right?
Yeah.
And then the second arrow, this will give you, this is the second arrow, this will get x times plus 1, you will get x. Okay, now of course I will do for the plus 2. So this first arrow will give me plus 2x. And then the second arrow here will give me plus 2 times plus 1 is plus 2. And then you will end up with x squared plus 3x and then plus 2. Okay, good. That's it. That's it. So I get my x squared plus 3x plus 2, which is what the question is here. The question is same, right? I mean, this is the same as this, right?
Yeah.
So once you get it correct, then that means the factorized answer is this one, these two. So if
Okay.
I'm going to do another question, which is your this question from this. I hope you can see the question. So what you start with is, I hope you can see your x to the power of 2, x to the power of 4 in this case. So this is x to the power of 4 minus 5x to the power of 3 plus 6x to the power of 2. Okay, what is common among these three? What's common among these three?
X.
Yes, x. But is it x only?
X and
Is it x only or x more than x?
the square got 2.
Okay, so what you see is you have x to the power of 4 here, x to the power of 3 here, x to the power of 2 here. In fact, you pick the one with the lowest power. So actually, the common one is x to the power of 2. The one with the lowest power is x to the power of 2. So that's why you pick x to the power of 2 as the common factor. So far, so good?
Yeah.
Yeah, so once you take out the x to the power of 2, right, you realize that you will get what? So the first term, x to the power of 4, you still have x to the power of 2. And then for the second term, you have minus 5x. And then the last one, you have plus 6. So that's your first step. Okay. And then the second step, I want you to realize something. For the second step, do you realize that this one is a quadratic expression? Why? Because the power is 2 in this case for this. Can you see this is similar to the question just now? The question just now is x to the power of 2 plus 3x and then plus 2. Can you see the similarity between this one and this one? So just now we use the box method. Okay, let me just call it the box method. Okay. So just now I use the box method to get x plus 1 and then x plus 2 for this one. So I'm going to use the box method to find this x squared minus 5x plus 6. So I'm going to use the box method to solve this. Okay, so like I say, how do you get x squared? The only way to get x squared is x times x, right?
Yeah.
Then how do you get plus 6?
Plus 6. 2 times.
Yep, 2 times 3. You're right. But I want you to bear in mind, your ultimate goal is to get minus 5x. So if you use 2 and 3, right? So let's say you pick x plus 2, which is here. So you want to pick these two. Let's say you want to pick these two. You can test the first combination first. So if you pick this, you are going to end up with, because this x squared, and then this one is plus 3x. And then of course this is plus 2x. And this is plus 6. Can you see if you pick 2 and 3, you are going to end up with plus 5x. But the question wants you to have minus 5x. So what do you do?
Negative 2 times.
Yes, negative 2 times negative 3. So if you try this combination, which is here, let's try this combination. So x minus 2, x minus 3, and then you just do like what I did just now, minus 3x after that, second arrow, and then minus 2x for the first arrow, and of course here, minus 2 minus 3 plus 6. So you will end up with x squared minus 5x plus 6. Ha! So this is the combination. Okay, so once you get this right, now the question is simple already. So that means this part here, let me erase this so I have more space. Okay, so this part, so the x squared is x squared. And then after that, this part, x squared minus 5x plus 6, I have already found out the factorization part, which is this 2. So I just change it to x minus 2 and then x minus 3. So this is the answer. Okay, so basically, this is your second step. This is step 2. Okay, this is step 2. So the step 3 is this one. Okay, which is convert this one, convert this one, which is a projective expression, to this one using the box method. So this is the answer for this question. So far so good.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, then let's move on then. Okay, so next question. Yeah, so next question.
Next question. Number 3.
Number 3. Okay, good. Let's see. Oh, this is a simultaneous equation. Okay, so for this question, okay, let me teach you. There are many ways to solve. So let me just grab this question. Okay, before we do this question, right? Let's do a simpler question so that you understand the concepts behind first. So this is, let me start with this. Okay, let's start with this question. So can you see this is your equation 1, this is your equation 2. So basically you have 2 equations. This is equation 1, equation 2. Okay? How do you solve this question? Any idea?
I didn't understand it because I didn't understand it because the y is different. It's like switch places with 52.
So never mind. So we will learn how to solve this together now. Okay. So let me give you method 1. Okay. So method 1 is called substitution method. Okay. Method 1 is substitution. Okay. So what I normally do is I will choose one of them and then I'm going to solve it. Okay, good. So what I'm going to do is from one means this is my 1. So from this, okay, from this you can actually see that, okay, x is actually equals to 3 minus y. Am I right? Do you know how I get x is equal to 3 minus y from 1? 1 is this. Do you know how I get x equals to 3 minus y from 1? It's okay. So basically you have x plus y equals to 3, right? So what you do is you take the plus y, you bring it to the right hand side. So plus y, you bring it to the other side, becomes minus y. Okay. So that's why once you bring the plus y over to the right hand side, then you left x on the left. And then plus y, because you bring it to the other side, change sign. So plus becomes minus. So that's why I get x equal to 3 minus y. So which is here. So far so good? So once you get this, then the question is super easy already. Okay. So once you get this, second step, sub x equals to 3 minus y into 2. Okay. So which is 2? 2 is this one. Okay. So 2 is this one. So I'm going to write it down first. So I'm going to have 2x minus y equals to 0. But can you see that I need to sub the x equals to 3 minus y into 2. So what it means is my x, right? My x here, this x. Can you see the x here? The x here, I'm going to replace it with 3 minus y. That's called sub. That's sub x equals to 3 minus y into 2. So that's why I sub already. Can you see? I replace the x with 3 minus y already. Can you see? Can you follow?
Yep.
So once I get this, then it's simple. I just need to open the bracket. So 2 times 3, first arrow is 6. Second arrow, 2 times minus y minus 2y. Minus y is equal to 0. Okay, then continue. Hold on, let me just continue. Let me continue from the next page. 6 minus 2y minus y. Okay, 6 minus 2y minus y from 0 equals to 0. So it's 6 minus 3y equals to 0. And then 6. Okay, so once again, I'm going to bring this minus 3y over. Okay, so minus 3y, you bring it over. Because it's minus 3y on the left, you bring it over, you change the sign, it becomes plus 3y. Okay, so 6 is equal to 3y. And then now you divide by 3 on both sides. You will end up with 2 equals to y. So that means y is equal to 2. So far, so good?
Yep.
So once you get y equals to 2, y equals to 2, right? If you look at the question just now. So just now we have this. Can you see x is equal to 3 minus y here, right? Over here. You see? X is equal to 3 minus y. So x is equal to 3 minus y. So we write x equals to 3 minus y. So my y is already equal to 2 from here, right? So my x is equal to 3 minus y equals to 2. Okay, I replace y equals to 2. So x equals to 1. Okay, so that's the answer for x and y. So if you want to write it clearly so that your teacher can see it properly, so x equals to 1 and then y equals to 2. That's the answer. So I have used substitution method to solve this question. Can you follow?
Okay. Yeah.
Good. So now let's tackle the question from the paper. This is the one, right? This question is more complicated. Okay, it's more complicated. So we need to be more careful. Okay, so let me just copy, paste it here. Okay, so over here you have your equation 1, you have equation 2. So it's really up to you which equation you want to start with. Okay, for me, I look at this question, I will start with this. I will say from 2. I want to start from 2. Just now I start from 1, but in this question I want to start from 2, and I'm going to explain to you why I start from 2. Because can you see that this 15x, this is 2, so it's 15x plus 52 is equal to 14y, is given by the question. So what I need to do is I just need to divide by 14 on both sides, and then you will see I will get what? I will get 15x plus 52 divided by 14, and then my right hand side will get y already. So that is good enough. So my y is actually equals to this thing. So once I have this, right, the next step is to sub y equal to the above, which is here 15x plus 52 divided by 14 into 1. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this. I'm going to just write the 1 out first. 21x plus 28y minus 36 equal to 0. So can you see that the y is already equal to this? So from this, can you see that the y is here? So in fact, you just replace your y with 15x plus 52 divided by 14. So just replace it with, I need more space, no space. So I just replace the y with 15x plus 52 divided by 14. Okay, so far so good. So once, okay, probably I just zoom in a little bit so that you can see. Oh, no, just up too much. Here, okay, this one. So once you get this right, so what you will see is 21x is 121x. Over here, can you see that you have a 28 here times what is inside? So can you see that this is a 14? You can cancel, 28 divided by 14 is 2, 14 is 1. So you will simplify this into 2, then 15x plus 52 minus 36 equal to 0. Can you follow this step so far?
Kind of.
Kind of. Okay, never mind. So I'm going to explain this further. It's okay. Let me just crop this out so you can actually, we can actually zoom into this part. Okay, so basically you were saying you have problem with this part. Okay, so I will talk about this part. Okay, so this part is this 28, 15x plus 52, 14 over. This bracket is the entire thing. Okay, so instead of talking about this, can I just ask you, if you have 4 and then you have 2x and then you have 2 here, do you know that, okay, something like this. You just do you know that if you have 4 times, this is a times, so 4 times 3x over 2, right? Do you know that your 4 here and your 2 here, you can actually cancel the 2 so that you end up with a 2 above, you end up with a 1 here. Have you learned this technique before?
Yeah.
So in fact, the 4 here, right? The 4 here is the numerator. The 2 here is the denominator. So actually they have a common 2. So you can cancel the 2. So if you cancel the 2 above, you get 2. You cancel the 2 below, you get 1. So basically I'm using this technique here. So over here, I have 28 as the numerator, 14 as the denominator. So the common factor is 14. So I divide by 14, I get 2 here. I divide by 14, I get 1 here. That's what I do here. Can you see the 2 here? Can you see the 1 here? That's what I do here.
Okay.
Can you follow? Can you follow?
Yeah.
So once you get the 2 and the 1, right? So basically this is 28 is gone, 2 is up, 14 is gone, cancel already, 1 left. So this entire thing here, okay, is basically this. Because when you have this 15x plus 52 divided by 1, right? It's actually itself. Anything divided by 1 is itself. 2 divided by 1 is itself. 3 divided by 1 is itself. So this one divided by 1 is also itself. So 3 divided by 1 is equals to 3 itself. 4 divided by 1 is 4 itself. Okay? So that's why I end up with this.
Okay.
So after that, what you do is just open the brackets. So first arrow, 30x. Second arrow, 2 times 50, 52, 104. And minus 36 equals to 0. 21x plus 30x, 51x. Then there's a plus here. And then after that, 104 minus 36. So it's 71. No, not 71. Can you help me out using a calculator? 104 minus 36. What should I get? So what should I get for this?
104 minus 36. It's 68.
Okay, 68 equals to 0. Okay, so 51x is equal to, so just now what I say, you have a plus 68 here, right? You have a plus 68 here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring it to this side. Okay, when you bring it to the other side, plus becomes minus, so you get minus 68. Okay, so you divide by, so I'm going to, looks like I run out of space, so I just move this to the next slide. Okay, so I just divide by 51 on both sides. So x is equal to minus 68 divided by 51. And then if you use your calculator, I think you can get a minus 1, and then this should be 17. Okay, and then of course, I think you can divide by the 17 above, and divide by the 17 above, you get 1, divide by 17 below, you get 3. So the answer is actually, if this you simplify, is minus 1 and then 1 over 3. So this is the first answer for x. So far so good. So once you get x equals to this, just now, I hope you can see that. Then from here, our y is this one. Okay, our y is actually equal to 15x plus 52 over 14. So what I'm going to do, I cannot remember it because it's too much. So I just get it over to here. Okay, so y is equal to this. So my x is already found, which is here. So I just sub in my x. So which is minus 1. Okay, can you see the x is here times the 15. I replace it with the minus 1 and 1/3, then plus 52, and then over 14. Can you use the calculator? Then you will get the answer. By the way, this is a times. This dot is a times. Can you use the calculator? Can you use the calculator?
Give me a second.
Then you should be able to get y. Did you get the answer?
Give me a second.
So minus 20 plus 52, 14. Let me also work out from here.
16 over 7.
Hmm?
16 over 7.
16 over 7. Yeah, but okay, 16 over 7 is not the simplified form. You need to get it in simplified form. So it should be a 1, no, not 2 over 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 16 over 7 is an improper fraction. So 16 over 7 is improper fraction. Improper fraction.
Oh, okay.
Okay, what is improper fraction? That means your this numerator, this is your numerator, and then this is your denominator. So the 16 is bigger than 7. So numerator is bigger than denominator. So it's called improper fraction. You cannot have an improper fraction as the final answer. Okay, the final answer here must be simplest form. Simplest form. So that's why you need to express it in this format. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question.
Next question is 5B.
5 boy. Oh, over here hands, right? Okay, first thing first, you need to finish the A first. Then only you can do the hands. Okay, but what I see from this question, they are linked. That means they are linked. Okay, so I must do the question 1 first because they are linked. Okay, let me just. Okay, one thing I want to let you know is your this A It's actually basically here. Okay. So if you do factorize, right? Once again, factorize. So the meaning of factorize is something like this. You will end up with something like this. Okay. So let me just quickly do this so that you can actually, okay, just now, if you refer to our work just now, this is factorized of one term, factors of 6, just one term. Okay. Then this is factorized of 2 terms. Can you see? 2 plus 4x, 2 terms. Then going forward here, factorize of x squared plus 3x plus 2. 1, 2, 3, 3 terms. So over here, this question you give me is factorization of 4 terms. Can you see 4 terms here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so basically you need to know how to factorize for 1 term, 2 terms, 3 terms, and now 4 terms. Okay, so let me quickly just do this first. So I'm going to group these two. I'm going to group these two together. So the first 1 and 2, I group them together. I will get 6x out, and then I'm going to get 4x minus 1. The same thing for this, I'm going to get 4 out. I get 4x minus 1. And then can you see that you have a common 4x minus y? Okay, so you can actually take out this 4x minus y because it's common among these two. So you will end up with 6x plus 6 plus 4. I'm sorry. Here, this one. 6x plus 4. 6x plus 4. After taking out the 4x minus 1. So this is the answer for. In fact, you can actually factorize it further. Why? Because can you see that there is a 2? Okay, so 4x minus y is the simplest already. Okay, but can you see that there is a 2 in this 6 and 4? So if I ask you to factorize 6x plus 4, I think you can take out a 2, right? Then you get 3x, and then after you get 2. So in fact, you need to take out the 2 as well. Okay, so after that, let me just rearrange it so that it's nicely arranged. So just 2, put the 2 in front. After that, 4x minus y, and after that, 3x plus 2. So this is the final answer. After all the factorization. So far so good.
Yeah.
So there is this whole thing, these 4 terms here, you have already factorized it into this. So instead of writing this one, right, you just write the answer. Just write this to replace it. That's the meaning of hence. That means you make use of the answer above. So the rest I just copy down. This is 3. This is times. So I don't want to confuse you. I don't use cross. I use times as a dot. Okay. So what I have done here is I just replace this whole thing with my answer in part 1. The rest I just copy down. Okay. So when you have this, I hope you can see a few things you can simplify, right? Can you see that your x minus y here, you can simplify it or not? Can you? Do you have an x and y?
Yes.
Where's your x and y, by the way? You have a 4x minus y. You don't have an x and y.
Okay.
So if you don't have a 4x, okay, so what I'm trying to say is this one is x minus y. Okay, this one is 4x minus y. They are not the same. So if they are not the same, you cannot cancel. Okay, you cannot cancel. But you can cancel one thing here. Can you see that you have a 3x plus 2? And then you also have a 3 plus 2 here. to the power of 3. So they are the same. So you can actually cancel. Okay. So you just cancel this 3x plus 2. And then you have 3x plus 2 to the power of 3. So instead of to the power of 3, because of the cancellation of ones, you will get 3x plus 2 to the power of 2. Because you cancel the 3x plus 2 one time. So here is 3, so now becomes 2 times. So far so good. Then after that, can you see there is a 3x plus 2 here? So you can cancel the 3x plus 2 another time. And then if you cancel the 3x plus 2 another time, you will end up with 3x plus 2 to the power of 1. Okay? So if you just erase this, because you cancel it, cancel it means you erase it. That's called cancellation. So once you cancel, So in fact, you can see that this whole thing simplified to this thing. So we just continue. What is on top? I still have 2, 4x minus y. On top, below, I have 4x. And then I still have this 3x plus 2. And then I still have this 4. And then, of course, I have x minus y. Okay, for this, I hope you can see the 2 here and the 4 here, you can simplify. So the 2 here divided by 2, you get 1. The 2 here and the 4 here. If you take out the 2, you will get 2 here. So if you simplify it further, you will end up with 4x minus y over 4x, 3x plus 2, and then x minus y. And then can you see that there is a 2 in front? So you just, this 2, you can actually times the 4 here, you will get 8. So this is the final answer.
Oh.
Okay?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay. Next.
Um, 6B.
6. Boy, factorize. Okay, so once again, before you factorize, you need to simplify this. To simplify the 6, right, you need to open the bracket. So let's move on.
Yeah, actually, it's okay.
Let me cut it out first.
Question 8.
Question 8 or question 6?
Question 8.
Okay, question 8. Given that this, okay, fine. Okay, same thing. This question is, you have 2 equations. Okay, this question, this is your equation 1. This is your equation 2. Okay. So you have your equation 1, you have your equation 2. Then, of course, there are other ways you can do this. Right? So how do you do this question? You can do it this way. Equation 1, equation 2. So what I see is, I want to start from 2. Why? Because 2 is x plus y equals to 7. So I'm going to use the technique. I'm going to bring the plus y over. Okay, so plus y on the left, I bring it over to the right hand side. I will end up with x equal to 7 plus y, bring it over, becomes minus y. Okay, so x is equal to 7 minus y. So far, so good. So after that, I'm going to sub this in. Sub x equal to 7 minus y into 1. So the 1 is x squared minus y squared equals to 7. So can you see that your x squared is here, and then your x is actually equals to this 7 minus y. So what you can do, you can actually replace your this x with 7 minus y. Okay, so how do you do this? How do you open the brackets for this? Okay, you open the brackets. Can you remember there are 3 formulas I asked you to memorize? A minus b bracket square. is a square minus 2ab plus b square. So basically you make use of this formula. So you end up with 7 square minus 2 times 7 times y and then plus y squared. For this, I'm making use of this formula. So then after that, minus y squared equals to 7. So simplify this further. Plus y squared minus y squared, they cancel each other. So just continue. 7 squared, 49. Minus 2 times 7y. 2 times 7 is 14, so it's minus 14y equals to 7. Okay, so let me just continue. Over here, you have a 49 here, you have a minus 14y here. So I decide to bring this over. The minus, I decide to bring the 49 over to the other side. So minus 14y remain. 49, I bring it over. So 49, bring it over, you need to change it to minus 49. So seems like I need to pull down a little bit so there are more space. So minus 14y is equal to minus, so 7 minus 49 is minus 42. And you divide by minus 14 on both sides. So you get y, then you get 3. So y is equal to 3. So far so good? So when y equals to 3, can you see x is equal to 7 minus y? So x is equal to 7 minus y. My y is equal to 3, so I can replace my y with 3. So my x is actually equals to 4. So you have x equals to 4, y equals to 3. What the question is asking? The question is asking 5xy, right? So I just sub in. 5 times x times y. 5x equals to 4 here. Y is equal to 3. Okay, so 5 times 4, 20. 20 times 3 is 60. So the answer is 60 for this question. So far, so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so this question here is, you need to be able to see that you have an equation 1, and then you have an equation 2. Then once you have the equation 1, equation 2, then you can actually use the substitution method. The substitution method. Okay, which we talk about here also. Yeah, here. Can you see? Substitution. So another question, yeah, over here. So we also use substitution method. We sub y in this case. So in fact, today we have discussed 3 substitution method questions. Okay.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Okay.
Then of course, part B, without using a calculator, ask you to evaluate. Okay. So part B is, you need to make use of is 207 square, right? Cannot use calculator, they say. So how do you do 207 square without using a calculator? Okay. 207 square, do you have any question? No calculator, how?
207 times 207.
Yeah, but you are not allowed to use calculator. Are you going to do this? 207, then of course, then you do the 7 times 7 is 49. Then are you going to do this?
Yes.
Okay, this is one way, but this way is so troublesome. I'm going to teach you an easier way.
Okay.
207 square. In fact, 207 square, you can see it as 200 plus 7. Am I right?
Yeah.
So once you get this, just now I say, can you remember this formula? A plus b bracket square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. Okay, so this is the so-called the one of the formula you need to remember or memorize. So you will end up with 200 square plus 2 times 200 times 7 plus 49. So this one is 200 square is 400. Then plus this is 400 times 7. This is 2800. And of course you plus the 49. So if you read this, right, I think this question is easier to do than the just now the multiplication. So this is 49, this is 8, this is 2, this is 4. So the answer is 42849. Isn't this easier?
Yeah.
So in fact, right, next time if you see, let's say you see you can see 99 square. So if you are not allowed to use calculator, so 99 you can see as 100 minus 1 square, right? Because 99 is equal to 100 minus 1, right?
Yeah.
And after that, you make use of just now the formula. A square minus 2ab plus b square. So this one you get 100 square minus 2 times 100 times 1 and then plus 1. So you end up with 100 square means 100 minus this one is 200, then you plus 1. So this 10000 200, you will end up with 99800. Okay, so that then plus another one is 99801. So it's easier if you do it this way. Can? Okay, so I have just demonstrated to you. You can actually see your 200, I mean 207 as 200 plus 7. And then 99 you can see is 100 minus 1. And then you can do it this way. You can actually find the answer easier. Better than doing it this way, huh? Better than doing it this way.
Okay.
Okay. Better than doing it this way. Okay. Next.
11A3.
11. 11. Do you have problem with 9? The number pattern?
Depends on the answer.
Okay, you know why I want to go through the number pattern question with you? Because I have a formula for you for number pattern. So probably let me just go through this question together with you. So we just go through it once and then you will know how to do the next time. I'm going to give you a formula here. Because a lot of students without the formula, I think they struggle a bit. But after they use the formula, then they can somehow do it. Right. Let me just get it to the PowerPoint. This is the one. So let me just duplicate this a few times. Okay. Let me just zoom in. Okay, so it says write down in terms of n a formula for x and y and z. Okay, good. So let's do for x. So the trend for x is, can you see the trend for x is 4, 5, 6. So that means the trend is for the figure 1. So this is the figure. This is figure 2. This is figure 3, figure 4. The trend will be 4, 5, 6. So figure 4 will be 7, right? So it means if they ask for figure 5, then it will be 8. But now they ask figure n. So how do you find figure n? So that's the question. Okay, so the trend here is, you know, every term is in between is plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, and then plus 1. So basically, you know that it's going to be plus 1, plus 1, plus 1 all the way throughout. Am I right? So this is what I call the difference. The difference is the same. So the difference is the same. Why is it the same? It's plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1 throughout. So they are the same. The difference is the same throughout. So if the difference is the same, you can use this formula, which is the nth is equal to the first number plus the difference, and then times n minus 1. So can I ask you, in this question, which one is the first number?
The first number.
Figure 1, figure 2, figure 3. So which one is the first number in this question?
4.
4. First number. Yeah? First number is 4. So I replace first number with 4. So what's the difference in this case?
The difference is 1.
Plus 1. Okay, it's plus 1. Must write down the plus as well. Plus 1. Okay, after that, done. You just need to open the bracket. First arrow you get 1 times n is 1n. Second arrow you will get plus 1 minus 1 minus 1. So if you simplify it a bit, it's n plus 3. So that's the answer for part for this one. So for x is equal to n plus 3. So far so good? Yeah, n plus 1 is the answer for x.
N plus.
N plus 3.
I did n minus 1 plus 4.
N minus 1 plus 4. No, that's not the n minus 1 plus 4 is not the final answer. You need to simplify it further. So it's n plus 3.
Oh, n plus 3.
Okay. But you can actually use this formula if you want. Okay, so
Okay.
that's for x. Now go to y. Y is this. Okay, so y is, I remember the question already. So figure 1 for y is 4, figure 2 is 9, figure 3 is 16. So figure 4, I guess, do you know the pattern? The pattern, in fact, is, the pattern here is, this one is what? 2 times 2. This one is 3 times 3. This one is 4 times 4. So if you want to find the figure 4, I think it's 5 times 5. So which is 25.
Okay.
Okay. So now they want to ask you what is n, right? So I want you to observe that if figure 1, right? Figure 1 is actually 2 times 2. Figure 2 is 3 times 3. So meaning figure n, okay? Figure n will be n plus 1 times n plus 1. Why? Because every time figure 3, right, is always 3 plus 1 times 3 plus 1, which is 4 times 4, right? Can you see? So for figure 2 here, right, can you see it's 3 times 3? How do you get 3 times 3? It's 2 plus 1 times 2 plus 1. So figure 2 is 2 plus 1 times 2 plus 1. Figure 3, 3 plus 1 times 3 plus 1. Figure n, n plus 1 times n plus 1. So that's the pattern. So you just need to simplify this. So how do you simplify? First arrow, n squared. Second arrow, n times 1 n. So this 1n, and then 1 times 1 is 1. So the formula is n squared plus 2n plus 1. So this is the answer for y. So y is equal to n squared plus 2n plus 1. So far so good. So this is the answer for y.
Okay.
Okay, then the last one. The last one is 12, 16, 20. So figure 1, 12, 16, 20. This one is easy because this is plus 4, plus 4. So the difference is the same. The difference is the same throughout. Okay, the same throughout. So the next one, okay, by the way, this is not the figure. Actually, this is the figure 1, figure 2, figure 3. So figure 4 will be, you plus 4, will be 24, right? So with this, you use the formula n is equal to first number plus the difference times n minus 1. So the first number in this case is 12. The difference is plus 4 throughout. So I put plus 4 and n minus 1. I'm going to simplify this. First arrow, second arrow. So 12 plus 4n minus 4. So 4n plus 8. So that's the answer. So the answer z is equal to 4n plus 8. Okay, so this is the answer. So far so good? Okay, so next part. The next part is find the number of unshaded square with 480 shaded square. So 480 shaded square. 480 shaded square, that means here. That means this one, how number of square on each side. So that means this is 480. They ask for what is this? Okay. So 480 is the shaded square. So that means you need to find out what is the n. So just now the formula for z is, can you still remember the formula for z? Z is this part. So it's 4n plus 8, right? Just now the formula for z is 4n plus 8. Let's double, yeah. Z is equal to 4n plus 8. Yeah, here.
But I got n minus 1 times 4 plus 12.
N minus, 再来一次。
n minus 1 times 4 plus 12.
Yep, I know, but you need to simplify. Dear student.
How do I say?
Yeah, so this you need to simplify. Simplify means you open the bracket. Just now what you say, right? You say n minus 1 times 4 plus 12, right? So what you need to simplify further. So the first arrow you will get 4n. Second arrow minus 4 plus 12. So you need to simplify it until 4n plus 8. You cannot leave it as that means over here you stop here, you stop here. Cannot. You cannot stop here. You open the bracket. Okay, but the z is actually 4n plus 8 simplified after simplification. So z equals to 4n plus 8, and now they say 480 is which n? So you just equate it to 480. Then with this, you can find out the n already. So the n is actually 4n. And then what I want to do is, so we are doing the same thing here. I have the plus 8 here. I want to bring it over. So plus 8, bring it over becomes, so 4n remain. Plus 8, I bring it over becomes minus 8. Because plus 8, you bring it over becomes minus 8. You change the sign. So 4n, continue. 4n is equal to 472, and then n equals to 118. So 118 is the figure. So it means they want to know figure 118. So what is your y when figure is 118? Okay. So what is the formula for y? Let's take a look. The formula for y is 这个 n square plus 2n plus 1. Can you see? Okay. So it's from here. So the formula for y is equal to n square plus 2n plus 1. In this case, the n is 118. So I just sub in 118 square plus 2 times 118 plus 1. Over here, you can use calculator. Can you help me out? What's the answer here? This is a times 2 times 118. Can you help me out using a calculator? 这里
14161.
14161. Okay, yeah. Let me just use my calculator, just have you double check. Yeah, 14161, yes. So the answer for unshaded square is 14161. Okay, so that's how you do this question. Okay, Ken?
Okay.
Just now you said question 11, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
11, the last one.
Okay, so before we talk about 11, can we have a brief 5-minute break? So we come back after our this brief break. Either you can go for your toilet break, water break, or just wash your face. Come back in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll see you in 5 minutes. Yeah. Hello, I'm back. Question 11. Let me know when you're back, student.
Hi.
Hey, good. Okay, question 11. Hey, student, can I understand? Are you going to school these days?
The exam is, it's examination week.
Pardon?
It's examination week.
Examination week. Then after exam, okay. I understand that tomorrow is your math test. Paper 1 or paper 2 or both?
Give me a second, let me check.
Please. Wow, I just take this question out.
I think it should be both at the same time because they just said math is on Thursday.
Okay, good. Okay, okay. Just to why I ask you whether you are going to school for face-to-face lessons or you're doing home-based learning, because these days I think the COVID cases are rising rapidly. So it's good to stay put. I mean, if you can do online, please do online, because uh my mom, not my mom, my father is positive, but that was 7 days ago. But my entire family, we have to isolate ourselves for 10 days. Okay, so the inconvenience of this isolation actually is not a very pleasant experience. Okay, so just to let you know, please stay safe, and then if you can do online lessons for other subjects, please do. Otherwise, you are going to go through a lot of inconvenience. Okay, like I'm doing now. I need to isolate myself for 10 days, but today is my 9th day already, by the way.
Oh,
I'm healthy, okay? Don't worry, I'm healthy, but just the inconvenience. Imagine you cannot go out, okay? Imagine you are having exam, but you cannot go for exams, okay? So the inconvenience is not pleasant at all, okay? But anyway, I'm healthy and I just still carry on doing what I need to do on at home. Okay, good. This question 11. So the entire 11 question 11 or just part of it?
the last one.
The last part, which is ask you to explain, is it?
No, the BE.
Or BD? Okay, let me see. B, boy, right? Part B, right? They ask, it's a parallelogram. Explain why this is congruent to. Oh, you know what's the meaning of congruent?
I mean the BE, the number A3.
Or A part 3. Oh, okay. The length. Okay. Okay, good. So part B, you know how to do part B? Explain congruent.
Yeah,
On nearby, we can talk about it. Okay, so seems like I have to do it from the start. Then I understand this question because I think they are linked. So it says is congruent. Okay, so since we are talking about congruent here, so what is the meaning of congruent? What's your understanding of congruent?
congruent. I do not know what's that.
Okay, if so, give you a simple example first. I always like to start with a simple example to do questions. So for your level, congruent is an adjective. Okay, So to prove congruency, this is a noun. Okay, so the meaning of congruent is exactly the same. Okay, so
Okay.
exactly the same. So if you want an exactly, so basically if I label this triangle ABC, right? Okay, so let me have a duplicate of ABC. Okay, so I name this DEF. So ABC, triangle ABC. So triangle ABC and triangle DEF. They are exactly the same, right? They are duplicates, right? So I can say they are congruent. Okay?
Yep.
Yep. So that's the meaning of being congruent. Okay. So usually you say two triangles are congruent. Okay. So now go back to the question. So it says AFE. So AFE is AFE, which is here. AFE. And then these are BFD. BFD. They are congruent. So what it means? Exactly the same, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to extract these two out. I'm going to extract these two out. Okay, why I extract it out, I'm going to explain to you later on, but let me just extract it out first. Because I find if I extract it out, it's easier for me to see. Okay, so this is, so let me label this. This is my AFE. AFE. Okay, so this one, I transfer it here already. Then this is my, I'm going to do a, so this is, I'm going to do this one as well, BFD. So I just need to, okay. Hey, no, sorry. So I need to rotate it, flip. Yeah. So I will have my BFD. Okay, so just now, they say what? They say congruent, right? So what's the meaning of congruent? So it means they are exactly the same. I mean, these two, exactly the same. So far, so good?
Yep.
Okay, so if they are exactly the same, right? So what are you going to have is this. Let me just don't fill it with anything. So if they are exactly the same, so can you see that the question already gives you this is 70, this is 72, this part is 72, right? Right? 72 degree, by the way. So because these two are exactly the same, if this angle is 72, so that means this is also 72, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because they are exactly the same. So when they are exactly the same, that means this one is also equal to this one. Okay? Then this one is also equal to this one for angles, okay? And in fact, if this side is also equal to this side, because they are exactly the same, right? So I'm going to use a different color. This side is equal to this side. Okay, of course, the last one, this one is equal to this one. So far, so good. So the angles are the same, the sides are the same. So that is exactly the same. So far, so good. Then what you have here is, can you see that there is a 4 here, 4 cm? Yeah. This is your, this is what? Let me see. This is EF and DF. Okay, so DF is 4. So which is here is 4. This one is 4. So that means this is also 4. Okay. Then continue. Angle BDF. Where's BDF? BDF means here. So that means they want you to find this angle. Okay. This angle is this red angle here. So I'm going to use red here just to match. This is this. So basically they want you to find this. So in order to find this, okay, in order to find this, How do you find this, by the way? So what you can do is you can find out this first. Yeah. Okay. So I want you to differentiate. This is this. Okay, let me see. BDF is this small one. Okay? But now I'm finding this one. So you have a by the way, this is the meaning of isosceles triangle. So if you have an isosceles triangle, this angle 1 is angle 2 is the same. Okay, so meaning if you have this isos, so your angle 1 is equal to angle 2. So now they say this is 56. This is 56, right? So 56. So angle 1, angle 2 is the same. So you need to take 180 minus the 96, then divide by 2. So you get your angle 1, which is, can you help me out?
Okay. 180. Okay. Minus 90. 84.
84 need to divide by 4, divide by 2.
Oh, 84, 42.
Okay, good. 42. Okay, so that means this is 42. This is also 42. Okay, so once you have this, then continue. Okay, over here, they say this is 96, right? So that means you can find out this already. So this is what? This is, so you have this. This is 96. Do you know that this one is 180 minus 96? Because this is a straight line. So this is angle angle on a straight line. So the entire angle is 180. So you just need to find the other side of it. So it's 180 minus the 96, which is 84. So that means this part is 84. Okay. So once you can find this part 84, then this, so basically you can find this one already. So which is here. So this is 84. So it means this one is also 84. This is 72. So they ask you to find the red one, right? So the red one is actually 180 minus the 72, then minus the 84. Okay. So the answer is 96 minus this, and 96. This is 24. Do you get 24?
Oh, did I get 24?
For BDF.
Yeah. I did. I got 24 and 42.
Okay, so actually the part 1 should be 24 degree.
Yep.
Okay, so they already have the degree here. You don't need to write the degree another time. So the next one is BAF. BAF, where's BAF is here. Okay, so in fact, BAF is very simple. Okay, BAF is, you just have to extract it out. So it's this BAF. And BAF, I think this is, okay, this is 96. So this is 96. Opposite is also 96. So this is also 96. And by the way, this is equal to this. Okay? Yeah, from here, congruent. Can you see? FA is equal to FB because it's congruent, exactly the same. So basically this is angle 1 is equal to angle 2. Just now we found out already. So it's 42. Do you get 42 for the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So now with that understanding, then we can solve for, they want to find BE, right? BE, okay, good. So basically they want to find this BE. BE is this entire line. Here. Let me insert it. Yeah. Okay, they want to find BE. Okay, in fact, you already have part of BE already. Part of BEY. So BE is, so that means BE, which is here. Okay, so if I let me erase some of the stuff. BE is here, the yellow line, but I think you already have part of it because this is BE, and then there is a F in between, and then the EF is already given, which is 4. So your job is to find out this part only, because this part is already given 4 cm. Yeah, here ma, 4 cm for EF. Can you see? So EF is 4 cm. So you just need to find what is FB or BF, which is this part, the green one.
Okay.
So you just need to find this part. Okay, so of course, then you must be asking how you should find this part, right? You must be asking how you should find this part. Am I right?
No.
So let's see. Let me get the question. Okay, this is the question. You want to find BE. Okay, let me just write down everything first. This is 4. This is 4. Okay, this is 6. This is 4. Okay, good. Done. So, okay, good. I'm going to take this question to this and solve for BF. So now we just need to find BF. Because we already find the EF, which is 4. Once we find BF, we just add them up together, then you get BE, right? So before I do that, I'm going to let you see that you have 2 triangles, which is important for you to find out the line BF. Okay, good. So I'm going to extract this out, and I'm going to extract the other one out. So I'm going to extract this out as well. Later, I tell you why I extract these 2 out. Okay, I'm going to extract these 2 out. Okay, so basically, I have extracted these 2 triangles out. This one, this 2. This one, and this 2. So basically, I have extracted this out. And I will tell you why I extracted these 2 out pretty soon. Before that, let me don't fill them up with anything first. Okay. Yes. Bring it. Okay, good. Okay, now I have extracted the triangle 1 out. So this is my triangle 1. This is triangle 1. I put it here already. This is my triangle 2. I put it here already. So now, can I ask, what is the base of this triangle 1? Here, right? Can you see? 4, right? So I put 4 here.
Yeah.
And then what is the base for my triangle 2? Yeah, right? 6, right? Am I right? So far, so good?
Yeah.
And then, this is my FD, right? Which is 4. Now the question is, this side, the blue one, I mean the green one is here is actually this side. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So now what you need to do is you just need to find out this side. But you already have this 4 for this one, 6 for this one, 4 for this one, then the question mark. So what you need to do is you make use of the similar triangle properties. I'm going to explain to you what is this similar triangle property. Okay, for similar triangle property, right? Okay, if this is 4, this is 6. So, okay, I don't want to do this question first. I'm going to give you a simple example first. Later you will know what I mean pretty fast. So instead of 4 here, I want to make it simpler. Okay. So if I tell you these 2, they are similar. If I tell you this is 1, this is 2, what do you think? If this is 2, Can you estimate what is the question mark here? If this is 1 cm, this is 2 cm, and then if the side here is 2 cm, what is this side here?
4.
Why 4 cm?
Because the size different. Wait, the ratio is 1:2.
Okay, so what you are trying to say, let me try to guess, is called basically if this is called triangle 1, this is called triangle 2. Basically, triangle 2 is actually a scale up. Okay, it's a scale up version of triangle 1, and the scale factor is 2 times. I think that's what you are trying to say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, triangle 1, you 2 times it. That means you enlarge it. You scale up 2 times, you will get your triangle 2 here. So that's why if this is 1, this is 2, this is 2, then this has to be 4 because it's all scale up by 2. Okay. So similarly, let's go back to this question. Over here, what is the scale up factor? 1.5, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So triangle 1 to triangle 2, the scale up factor is 1.5. So therefore, now this is 4. So small to big is scale up. So now from here is big to small. So you need to scale down. So you divide by 1.5. Can you help me out? So 4 divided by 1.5. What's that?
4 divided by 1.
Give me a fraction.
2 out 3.
2 and 2 out of 3. Okay, so I just want to make sure that you know how come this is times 1.5. How come this is divided by 1.5? Do you know why?
Yes.
Okay, so why? Because 1 to 2 is scale up. So now you want to find, so 1 to 2 means small to big is times 1.5. So the factor is actually 1.5. So now they give you the big one. So they ask you to find the small one. So you need to scale down by the same factor. Okay. Yeah. So that's the answer. For EF is 2 and 2 over 3. So far so good?
Yeah.
So you just add them up. 4 plus 2 and 2 over 3. So it's 6, 2 over 3 cm for the BE. Right? Because you need to add this 4 and then you add the BF. So you add the 4, you add the 2 and 2/3. So you get 6 and 2/3 cm. So far so good?
Yeah.
So last question, which is the last part, explain. Do you know how to explain?
Ask a question.
Yeah, go, come.
What time does the class end? Because my iPad and my laptop both doesn't low battery already.
Okay. Do you want to charge your laptop now? Like bring a charger, adapter?
Yeah, but what time does class end just in case?
We have about 10 minutes left.
Okay. Okay, again. Just charger.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Good. So last question means the last part, which is explain. So do you know how to explain?
No, I did not.
Okay, let's take a look together. So what I say, it says given that ABCD is a parallelogram. So I explain why this is congruent, ABD and then CDB. Okay, let me just get the figure out. Put it side by side. Okay, sorry. Yeah, good. So ABD, where's ABD? ABD, which is ABD, this one. Okay, let me just, instead of trying to, let me just draw it out. Draw it out is better. Yeah, so this is the one. We put them together. Very good. This is the ABD. And CDC, where CDB. Okay, let me just get it out. Okay. C, D, E. Okay, so the question now is whether they are congruent or not. Then how do you prove congruent? Just now what we say. To prove congruent, they must be exactly the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is exactly the same. Okay, so for congruency, or for two triangles to be congruent, right? Okay, you need, there are a few ways you can prove. Okay, there are a few ways you can prove. Okay, so I'm going to just demonstrate to you one of the ways. Now, this one, this angle is equal to this angle. Am I right? Why? Do you know why?
Because it's congruent.
No. Okay, wait. Now you don't know. They ask you explain why. So that means you cannot assume they are congruent first.
Okay.
Okay. You need to prove they are congruent. So you cannot just assume, oh, because they are congruent, that's why they are the same. So how do you prove this angle is equal to this angle? Okay. You have learned that this one is parallel to this one. So if this is parallel, can you see that this is the Z? So what is the Z? Z is alternate angle. So angle one is equal to angle two, alternate angle. Have you learned this before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have already proved this angle is equal to this angle. Okay, because alternate angle. Okay, so I proved that. Next, is there anything I can prove besides this? Let's see. ED is 6. ED is 6. Cannot do anything. Then EF and then CD also cannot. Then what else can I prove? It says ABCD is a parallelogram. Oh, okay, good. Parallelogram. So parallelogram means opposite angle is the same because it's parallelogram. So I can prove that this angle and then this angle is also the same. Let me use a different color. This angle and this angle is the same because this is the angle A, this is your angle C. So this is your angle A, this is your angle C. So these two angles, they are also the same. Okay, so similarly, you can also prove this one. Let me use a different color. This one is also equals to this. So that means this one is also equal to this. So I can prove that all angles are equal. So it means they match. And then these two match. And these two match. So at least I can match the angles are the same. Okay? Then how? Parallelogram. So if you split a parallelogram, can you see that what's the meaning of parallelogram? Because parallelogram means, let me just illustrate with a parallelogram to you. Parallelogram. Okay, so this is the one. Okay, just now the one is this way. This is the parallelogram. So you have a parallelogram like this. So somehow you just cut it half. So what's the meaning of parallelogram? The meaning of parallelogram means opposite sides. So for parallelogram, okay, the characteristic number one is opposite sides are the same. So then what is the meaning? This side is equal to this side. Then this side is equal to this side. So with this, we can say that this side AB is equal to my CD. So AB is equal to CD. So far so good?
Oh, yeah.
Next, opposite side. So AD is equal to BC. So AD is equal to BC. So far so good?
Yeah.
Then can you see that this side BD is common? Now BD, and then BD is common. It's the same thing. So they are the same. So I have proven that the sides, the sides are equal. Number one, and then the angles are also equal. So can I say they are congruent? The sides are equal, the angles are equal. Can I say that they are exactly the same? Can I say?
No. No.
Yes, they are congruent.
Oh, what?
Can, right?
I'm confused.
Yep. So in fact, just now we have already said that how to prove they are congruent? Exactly the same. So when they are exactly the same, what is the meaning of exactly the same? Means this one. Hold on. Exactly the same means the angles are all the same. Blue match with blue, red match with red, gray match with gray for angles. Okay. Then for the sides, green match with green, yellow match with yellow, and then of course this four match with four. So that means all sides are equal, all angles are equal. That is called congruent, exactly the same. So now we can prove that all the sides are equal, all the angles are also equal. So are they congruent? The answer is yes. How do you explain? They ask you to explain why, right? Then you just explain like this. All sides are equal, all angles are equal.
I see.
Okay. So this is 1 mark, right? This question is 1 mark or how many marks? 1 mark. So if 1 mark, right, you don't have to go through so much. You don't have to go through such a long-winded explanation. But for your benefits, I just explain it in more details so that you understand. So for this question, how you answer it? Just yes, they are congruent because all sides are equal, all angles are equal.
I see. Yeah.
Okay. But of course, if this is a 3-mark question, then of course they expect a lot more from you. Then you have to explain why all sides are equal using this, because opposite sides are equal for parallelogram. Then of course you need to explain why these angles are also the same, alternate angles. So you just give more details if the question is 3 marks. Okay. Okay. Good. Do you have questions from your school for me?
I don't think so. I haven't gone to school for a long time.
Or you haven't gone to school for a long time because of exam?
No, I didn't feel like going to school.
Ah, okay. Anything why? Because you don't like school or?
Yeah, I don't like school.
Mm, okay. Hey, can I ask you a question? I heard that your teacher confiscated your phone so that it's very hard to reach you for your mom and myself. Any idea why your school teacher confiscated your phone?
Because I use it during recess time.
Also, you're not allowed to use it during recess.